Okay, this is a neck board for K7400. Some heat. You can tell there's been some heat. These color transistors. I mean, look at the one wiggle there. This resistor's a bit loose. I believe it's red, green, blue. Pots look okay. I noticed a red mark here on this chip across there, so I don't know if whoever was working, if that's from the factory or if somebody was working on this, because it has had a cap kit and the flyback has changed. So I don't know if that was marking that chip's bad or it's good. Again, heat damage. Some of these solder joints don't look all that great. A lot of corrosion from heat and stuff like that. And you see the traces are lifted. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove all 3 transistors and try to super glue down them traces and clean them up. Make sure that they got continuity to where they're supposed to be going. And I'll probably reflow everything in this area right here. And anywhere else that I think might need reflowed. There's some crud right here. Not sure what that's about, but I'll clean it up. Okay, here's one of the transistors out of the neck, color transistor. Comes up unknown or damaged part. I tested the other 2 and they come up as an NPN transistor, which they should, because that's what they are. Sorry, one-handed here. Well, I'll just pause it, get it in there and come back. Hang on. There we go, that was much easier. See, NPN transistor. So that's a good one. And this was the other one. I guess it helps when I'm not looking through the viewfinder. Retest. Yep, NPN. Test good. And we'll put this bad one in here just one last time to be sure. So apparently this monitor may have been missing a color. I don't know because I hadn't turned it on. I wanted to go through because this neck board had some bad traces and lifted traces and stuff. Okay, so I am going to keep these parts separate, and I think it was an NTE 2515 or 2505. I can't remember what this is, but I'll find one. Soaking with some Totally Awesome on it right now. Want to clean off all the dirt. Here's the neck board. There was a bad 3782 transistor. I happened to have one, so I replaced it. Reflowed everything. This looks so bad because, well, there's a lot of super glue under them traces, and it kind of got everywhere. But I got continuity through all the traces, so it just kind of looks funny, but it's super glue. These are nice and solid now. Mounted nice and solid. I washed this chassis. I haven't dried it with the hair dryer yet, but hair dryer trick, but I was just doing some testing. Went through, checked as many diodes as I could find. One over here by the vertical IC was good. I checked any shorts in the vertical IC. I didn't find any other than the ground pin. Well, it's not shorted to ground. How about that? I'm starting to suspect that someone may have recapped this chassis and put in a new flyback, and I'll bet that they did not have color. And then they may have gave up on it. I don't know. I only say that because it has been recapped and there is a brand new flyback on it. I don't even know if the anodes spin any time on a tube, because it's just, I mean, it's clean. But anyways, through my testing, I found that R811 is out of spec. It's into the mega ohms, and it should be anywhere between, I believe, 50K and 100K. And if it's out of spec, you're not going to get any color. So that may explain the red mark on the U500 chip on the neck board. They may have thought it was that, and it still could be, but R811 is way out of spec. So I am going to go through my parts chassis here out of regular TVs, and I am going to find a resistor that's somewhere between 50 and 100K. And then I'm going to solder it in here. Okay, so I've been going around here looking for pins to make sure, just reflowing pins that look bad. So I found this on the flyback. Right here. I still have to flow these 4 pins right here. This guy's looking kind of shabby. Right here, you can see I took out R811 right there. After I'm done reflowing this, I'm going to put it in the component tester and see what it reads. Testing. Says no, unknown or damaged part. So I'm going to find one on these other boards that's within at least the specification range, and then I'm going to pull it out of the board and see what it says. Okay, so I found a resistor. It was reading 69K in circuit, which is pretty close to the middle of where we need to be. Okay, so 68K. You can see I'm in position 1 and position 3. So I'm going to retest this other one in the same exact spot. Alright, got this original resistor out of the chassis. Still saying nope. Okay, so anyways, going to put this guy in there and we'll get her dried up and fire it up, see what happens. Alright. Got the G2 wire hooked up, just soldered into the board. I took off the splice connection they had. Same thing with the focus wire, took off the splice. Don't need any splicing on that stuff. Super glued the linear coil. Okay, anyways, glued the linearity coil. Anyways, I glued this coil because it was loose and bent. R812 in there. It's a beefy resistor, but ohms is ohms in my opinion. Maybe it won't be weak and burn out. I'm going to dry this board now. Oh shit, that wasn't even recording. Well, hey, it came on, but I don't have an image, but I'm not going to try to hold the camera and play with the back. Not doing it. Okay, guys, I messed up some footage, I think, when I first plugged this in, and I had power. I heard the high voltage, and then I came over and couldn't get an image. Here, what was happening was I checked the B+, and it would come up to, I would see it about 113 volts, and then it would climb straight up to about 180, 168, something like that. So I turned the B+ pot down, and it had about 106 B+ volts, and it stayed on. So I figured, I started to turn the B+ back up, and when I got to about 112 and a half, 113 volts, it shut off. I could hear the deflection shut off, and monitor went quiet, and you could hear it click like. So I assumed that maybe it was the high voltage shutdown. So I turned the high voltage shutdown pot just a little bit, and now I'm able to get 117 on the B+, and it's not shutting down. So I'm going to have to read, because I know there's a pin on this board that I can test what the high voltage shutdown voltage is. I think it's, I want to say it's 9, but I'm not quite sure if it is. But look at that. That is crisp, boys. That is, I don't know, man. That's nice to me. Real nice. So all the controls were working, the contrast, brightness, the height, the width, horizontal position, vertical position, and all that. Vertical hold works pretty good. Everything looks really, really square. This is a nice chassis. And this is the same tube I've been running my K7000 chassis on. So it looks really nice on a tube that K7000 can run on. Look at that. That's nice. That's one of the brightest pictures I've ever seen that I've worked on. That's a really nice tube. I did kind of like mess with the rejuvenator on it a little bit. Yeah, let's have a little look. I'm gonna come back on a wider angle. There, we're back with a wider angle so I can get over here to the test pattern generator. Let's see what these look like here. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. I got a little bit of dipping up there in the top. I'm going to mess with the horizontal hold and see if I can. I'm not even sure if that'll work on that, but I'm going to mess around with it and see. Yep, very nice, very nice. Nice and crisp. Yeah, okay, on here I'm getting some curvature on the straight line. So I'm going to try to monkey with the horizontal hold and see if I can get those lines straightened out. Okay. K7400. I don't know what I recorded, so if I repeat myself in this segment, I apologize. It's running. I'm going to let it run. Like I said before, it's already been capped and the flyback has been changed. We had a bad transistor on the blue gun. We had a bad R811. High voltage shutdown pot was out of whack. B plus is now running. I've seen it as low as 116.9, as high as 117.2. So it's pretty good. I need to test the high voltage circuit and see where it's at and make sure that it's correct. It's working, but I want it to be correct. So yeah, getting a little bit of board smell. I'm not sure if that's because any of the soap that was on there is getting warm or whatever, but it's not like, you know, a burning smell or anything. It's just you smell some warmth. And then I had, you know, had to super glue the linear coil back. So it's looking good. I'm kind of proud of myself. I never even plugged it in to test it. I just went through the standard testing of everything and plugged it in and got it working. Alright. Subscribe. Peace.